Good morning and welcome to Inside South Florida. I'm Dave Azer. Today, with the local housing market turning around, now's a great time to buy a home. We give you tips on how to get the house you want at the price you want. Plus, we take a look back at the biggest South Florida stories of 2012, and a psychic gives us a look into 2013, including the scoop on some of your favorite South Florida celebrities. That and more as Inside South Florida starts now. If you're looking to buy a home here in South Florida, the Zuckerman family has 4 generations of real estate experience and a website with the scoop on the South Florida housing market. So here with information that you need on how to get that home at the price you want is Andy Zuckerman of Zuckerman Homes. Andy, good to have you here.
Nice to be here, Dave.
Welcome to our show.
Thank you.
So I think good news, because you keep hearing things are turning around in the housing market in South Florida. Yes?
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. We're seeing a turnaround. And this has been coming. It's been building and building and building. And even in today's paper, we've seen some great results where year over year, quarter over quarter, month over month increases in both sales and pricing.
Give me a couple of big reasons why things are starting to look so good down here.
Well, things looked so bad for so long, and now where prices have bottomed out, so you've got very good and attractive pricing. You couple that with the lowest mortgage rates in the history of the country.
Right.
Those two will make a winning combination, and always will.
And we're not just talking about buying pre-owned homes. We're talking about building new homes as well, right?
Oh, absolutely. New homes are making a strong comeback. We've seen a lot of that very recently. Used homes, also very strong.
A question that a lot of people have is the whole renting versus buying dynamic. And I know it depends on the individual, but give me a couple of reasons why you might do one over the other.
Well, renting is a necessity if you don't have today's down payment or you don't have the credit anymore. So renting has become a necessity for quite a few people. The flip side, though, is if you can afford to buy with, as we just talked about, interest rates so low and prices being depressed, it's actually in many instances less expensive to own a home than it is to rent, and then you're building your nest egg.
Okay, so with that said, let's jump into something that's covered in your book here. This is terrific. You've put together some talking points, some do's and don'ts, and we have some specific don'ts when you're buying a home. And this is good because a lot of people, first-time buyers, are terrified of this whole process, right?
Always,
so
yes.
I'm going to give you some of your don'ts, and you expand on them. The first one is don't make the wrong offer, too low or too high.
That's absolutely right. If you make a lowball offer, the seller is not going to take you for real and may discard you completely. And if you really want that house, you may never have another crack at it. Conversely, you never want to shoot too high, because if you shoot too high, there's nowhere to go down. So you really have to understand what the market is and have your real estate agent work with you to determine what is the market today.
It's such an interesting dynamic because you think the first rule of negotiating is always kind of come in low, right? But you don't want to come in too low because then you turn around and the house is gone.
We've seen it many times where people think they're going to come in and steal a property and they come in too low and the seller says, you know what, I don't want to work with you anymore.
Yeah. All right, another don't is don't lose your deposit when making the offer. Explain that one.
You need to have contingencies built into your contract. You may need to get a mortgage. You need a mortgage contingency. You certainly want to be able to inspect the home. A home inspection is pivotal because you don't really know what you're getting. As they say, you never know what's behind the doors or the walls. So you need to build contingencies into your contract so you protect your deposit.
Don't do this all yourself. Get help, right? Don't stress yourself out. Right?
Absolutely. We highly recommend using a real estate agent local to your area. Be very beneficial. On top of that, if you need a mortgage professional who understands what your needs are, and then a real estate attorney who can help guide you through the nuances, because everything in this is new to most people.
Sure. A lot of people think that getting a foreclosed home or a short sale is a steal, but don't forget there are risks with those as well.
Well, absolutely. We have an interesting saying with short sales. Short sale is wrong because short sale has been a very long sale and in many instances no sales at all. And foreclosures, sometimes you don't really know what you're getting. So we believe that staying away from the short sales and foreclosures in most instances is probably a good thing to be doing.
Okay, and then the last one is don't underestimate hidden cost of ownerships. Explain.
Buying the house is just the beginning. You have real estate taxes, you'll have mortgage closing costs, you have insurance dues, you have either homeowners association or your condo association dues, you have furnishing expenses, moving expenses. So remember, just buying the home is just the start. There are all these ancillary expenses that you need to be cognizant of.
Well, luckily, there's this great website that you can go to that explains all of
Right.
this. Your website, HomeHub.com. So let's talk about it, and specifically the negotiating tool, which is a stroke of genius.
Well, you're right. At HomeHub.com, we've got a variety of tools along with our book available, and the negotiation simulator is just that. You know, we find that many people either are fearful of the negotiations, don't really understand how it works. So we've actually created from scratch a simulator that will help you practice the art of negotiating till you finally get to the point where you're at the point to acquire the property. It's unbelievable. It works great.
And it's pretty easy to kind of manipulate your way around the system and around that tool as well, right?
Very easy.
Yeah.
It's a very easy tool to work with, as well as the other tools. Some of the other tools take a little bit more time, but they're designed for everybody to use and really easy to use.
And one more point about your website is now is a very good time for people to go to it because you have a pretty cool program going on.
Great thing. We are giving away our entire kit, which includes the book, all of the tools, and the additional paperwork accompanying that. Actually, it's at homehub.com/2013 giveaway.
I want to mention, we have a couple minutes left. I mentioned this in the introduction to this interview that your family has been doing this for quite a long time. Give me the kind of backstory, if you will, on how we are here today and all those years ago with your family.
Great story. It's actually my grandfather started in the business. We've dated it back to 1924, so it's approaching almost 100 years. He was followed by his children. My brothers and I followed our parents, and my son Ryan now is the fourth generation, and we've been doing this almost 100 years consecutively in the building business.
And Ryan is over here to the side taking copious notes right now. I can see him, so he'll be the next one up when we do this again in a few months.
Well,
right?
that would be really good because he's really the brainchild behind HomeHub.com.
Well, it's great to see you here. Happy New Year. And the last thing is one piece of advice. We've covered a lot, but one more piece of advice to viewers thinking about buying a home in 2013.
Do it. Don't wait. Prices are on the rise. Inventories are down. Rates are at historic lows. This is the perfect storm to buy a home. Don't wait.
All right, Andy, good to see you, buddy.
Okay, you too. Thank you.
Also on HomeHub.com, they put you in contact with top real estate agents, mortgage companies, and credit repair companies. When we come back, a look back at the biggest stories to hit South Florida in 2012.